possibly descended from genetically enhanced humans who served in a military enforcer caste for the Second Empire. Over time, the Shek people's appearance changed, developing purple skin while growing bone plates and spikes all over their bodies. Embracing these changes, they let horns grow long as a sign of martial prowess, while those defeated in battle had their horns cut off. At some point, possibly after the fall of the Second Empire, the Shek migrated to the Sten Desert, Border Zone, and Spider Plains, where they lived as warring tribes until the mighty hero Kral united them to form the Shek Kingdom, which eventually established the cities of Squin, Last Stand, the Great Fortress, and capital Admag. Legends claim Kral was finally killed in a battle outnumbered 100 to 1, but his legacy lived on for centuries, providing the basis for Shek government, warrior culture, their strict honor code, and life philosophy. Continuing on, according to Kral's teachings, the Shek Kingdom was ruled by their greatest warrior, who could be challenged to honorable combat, killed, and replaced. This idea of all-out devotion to warfare echoed throughout every aspect of their society, believing the aim of every Shek should be to die in glorious combat. Only victory or death were considered honorable, therefore those defeated but left alive had their horns cut off, leaving them to choose between disgraceful exile or life as a second-rate citizen of their society, performing the non-military duties necessary for the prosperity of their civilization. Following a strict caste system, the Shek also discriminated against other races until individuals proved themselves in combat. Hated enemies of the Holy Nation, they were often at war with the human, theocratic bigots to the north, who considered all Shek beasts which must be enslaved and purified of their corruption. Yet the Shek also fought among themselves, breaking into factions over disputes of leadership and other conflicts. Under the reign of King Shagger, the Shek Kingdom continued its legacy of relentless attack, waging war against the Holy Nation, United Cities, and any other enemy presenting itself. Yet this strategy was failing and their people falling to ruin after years of conflict led to the fall of settlements like the Great Fortress, the Old Front Lines, and others. Nevertheless, Shagger refused to change tactics, ordering a final suicidal death charge into enemy ranks so the last of their army might die as true warriors. But not all were willing to throw away their lives so easily, causing the warrior Bayan to publicly object. To everyone's surprise, Bayan was then backed up by Esada the Stone Golem, a member of the Invincible Five, considered one of the best fighters in the kingdom. Engaging in an epic duel, Esada killed Shagger to rule as Queen of the Shek, with Bayan as her advisor. Though she still valued their warrior code, Esada sought to reform their society and ensure long-term survival by pulling their forces back from the Holy Nation front line, making peace with the United Cities, and opening their borders to trade. Although this did much to stifle their decline, conflict continued not only against foreign powers, but also smaller factions and rebel groups like the Bugmaster, a mysterious man some say is centuries old, living in an abandoned outpost with a connection to spider insects within his territory of Arak. Though no one knows his origins or purpose, some believe he is the last of the ancient humans who once ruled the First Empire, while others say he is a genetically engineered creation of the Second Empire. Due to his location, there were those who believed he was raising an army to attack the Shek Kingdom, but the evidence actually suggests he sought to invade the Ashlands, gathering much information about the Second Empire exiles and their leader cat-lon. There are also rumors suggesting the Bugmaster keeps human teeth. A more traditional enemy to the Shek Kingdom came from Kral's Chosen, led by Ida the Flying Bull, a loyal friend of Shagger who refused submission to Esada, establishing New Kralia in the Sten Desert, west of the Great Fortress. Similar to Kral's Chosen, the Berserkers stood against Esada's government, wishing a return to the old ways of aggressive warfare. Establishing a village in the Spider Plains, they also had a strong presence further north in Berserker country. Led by the exiled warrior Suchon the Ghost, it is believed he was a warrior of high station among the Shek until defeated in combat, possibly by Gorillo, leader of the Gorillo bandits who then stole his sword. Surviving the encounter, Suchon was disgraced and his horns cut off, yet rather than accept his fate and lay down his arms, he became Ghost and vanished into exile, where his reputation allowed him to form the widespread Berserkers. The final rebel group troubling the Shek Kingdom was the Band of Bones outlaw crew, led by Tora the Fearless, also called Tora the Gutless, another Shek warrior who lost a battle and had her horns cut off. Yet similar to Ghost, she would not lay down her sword and fled into exile where she formed a bandit crew. though her main camp was in the Sten Desert east of the Great Fortress. Her people roamed the Bone Fields, High Bone Fields, Shem, Shun, Spider Plains, Hook, and Swamp. As humans, Shek and skeletons spread throughout the continent after the fall of the Second Empire, they encountered the Hivers species, insect-like humanoids who functioned as an extension of a larger hive run by a single, all-powerful queen. Found in Vane, Dreg, the Fog Islands, Royal Valley, and Grey Shelf, their origins remain a complete mystery even to scholars, with possibilities that included the Second Empire or rogue skeletons genetically altering humans to create a worker caste, organic robots who obeyed without question, possibly even meant to replace humanity. Others suggest perhaps they were native to Kenshi, growing larger and more sentient over time, or migrated from another land or even world. In any case, individual hivers were fiercely loyal to their hives, but could lose that connection if they remained out of contact for too long, becoming exiled hiveless, forced to wander the wasteland on their own. These hiveless eventually grew more independent and capable of living rich, active lives, yet even so, they often suffered from depression as they felt purposeless without a hive. Over time, hivers separated into 3 distinct cultures, the first being the beige and light brown western hivers, friendly peaceful traders open to foreign visitors in their villages throughout the territories of Vane and Dreg. The pink and purple colored southern hivers, meanwhile, were hostile, aggressive meat-eaters who attacked trespassers in the Royal Valley and Grey Shelf. Finally, there were the blue fogmen of the Fog Islands, mad roving hivers without a queen who attacked anyone they found in their territory. Those able to escape the Fogmen might find refuge in the nearby independent city of Mongrel, but often remain trapped, unable to escape the region. A special thanks to all those who contribute to CivilizationEx, like Sir Rick Lone, Tio the Iron Banker, Eden Gruer Spicy Sky Frugron, and Thomas the Kinslayer. If you'd like to help the channel, be sure to give a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and click on the links below, or else go to patreon.com/CivilizationEx, where you can gain early access to videos, vote on future content, and watch the Patreon-only series, Heroes of Lore and Legend.